Yeah, hi guys. Good evening to everybody. Welcome to day 5 of our Python Zero to Hero. And I take immense pleasure to welcome everybody. Hope you are safe, your family is well, safe and sound, and do follow the COVID protocols and be safe. And try to work and learn from home as much as possible, and try to utilize this timing. So here we are at the last day of our Zero to Hero, and if you remember, whomsoever was there in yesterday, we have covered basic functions. We took some nice examples of function. Then we went ahead with object-oriented programming. Then we did some kind of class making, instance method, instance variable, and we tried to put some spotlight on class variable and class methods also. Although I do agree that some people might have got confused in the oops concept, so that's necessary, and that's what the general thing is, that on the first time if you are doing oops, it will be a little confusion. But no worries guys, if you do practice my notebook which I have provided, you would definitely get a more grasp on a particular subject. So before starting the lecture today, I'll tell you what I'm going to cover today, as same as speed would be the same, little faster, because we have quite a less time. But what we are going to cover today is, I have some good news for you folks. I'm going to start with some cool tricks in Python, cool tricks which you can understand. Then I'm going to start with some basic libraries in Python, like a OS library, how the date time library works. Then I'm going to talk about a very stylish features of Python, which is called lambda. Have people have heard about it? Then there is something called generator. What is generator? Then we are going to talk about list comprehension. And after, at the end of the day or end of the lecture, I'm going to give you folks a quiz which you need to complete it and submit in LetsUpgrade portal. On the basis of that, you would be getting your certificate. So yeah, this is the entire plan of our lecture today. So without wasting further time, let me share my screen, and let's start the job. Hope my screen is visible. Can anybody confirm, please, if possible? Guys, hold on for a second. So my screen is visible. Okay, can anybody confirm, or should I start directly? Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks, folks. Thank you, everybody. So let me jump directly to the notebook. Now there are some cool tricks. I'm going to explain 9 or 10 good tricks which you can use it to play around yourself. So those tricks might be very useful as well, as that's good as far as the interview of any Python developer is concerned. So first thing what I'm going to show you is how to join characters using a simple operation. So I'm going to show you one by one. So let me delete this and let me put my character. So suppose we have something called let's L. Okay, before that, I have some more trick apart from this. Let me insert above. Suppose you have a word name. Word is equal to let's upgrade. Our beloved class name. Let's upgrade. This is a word. Now you want to convert each and every word in a form of a list. What you need to do is simple. You just need to write a list and do it. So you would see that LE, all the characters has been made in a separate and of entire in a form of a list bundle. So let me copy that thing to show you the next trick. If you have something like this and you wanted to join it, see, we had this, we made it as in like this. But what if we have a list and we wanted to join it? We can use something called dot join, and I'm going to execute it and show you. It shows let's upgrade. Now I have joined it without any space, but if I wanted to put some character, like let me put percent, you will see all the percentage. You want extra space, you put a space, you will get all extra space. And here there was already a space, so it will make another space. Rather than that, you want to put something called dash, you can put it. You don't want anything, you just put it like this. So this is the first trick. If you have a word, can convert into a list. If you have a list, can convert into a word. That's a vice versa. So that's the first trick. Hope you are enjoying the lecture. Let me go back to next trick, which is, if you have a two number called A and B, and how you are going to declare each number. So far what you have learned in the languages, you need to declare A is equal to suppose 10, then B is equal to 10. In JavaScript you might say that let A, or let B. In C++ you can say that int A. int b or c, the same thing as well as in the C sharp also. Now your job is that you have declared two variable. Now you wanted to swap them. Currently a is 10 and b is 20. Let me take example of b is 20. Now you want a to be 20, b to be 10. You wanted to replace with each other. Then how you going to do it? Your basically a comma b is 10 comma 20, which means that a is 10 and b is 20. You just need to write a comma b is equal to b comma a. So if I execute this, now a was 10 earlier and b was 20. Now you will see a as 20 and b as 10. So this is for swapping the elements or just changing their value, interchanging it. That's the second trick. Third thing would excite you further. We have you know that how we make a dictionary. We have done it several classes now so far. Now if you have a two list and you want to convert that entire list, first list and second list, first list would have all the keys and second list would have a values, or maybe second list would have a keys and first list has a value, doesn't matter. How you can convert it into using something called zip. Zip basically means it keep two lists side by side and try to wrap it at one-on-one function. You have heard in math there is something called one to one, one to many, many to one, or many to many. So this is a one to one, one thing, one thing, one thing, one thing. So here the condition should be that both lists should have the same length. Then if you provide it into zip and the outside you will write a dict keyword, it would convert it into something called key value. Name as Kamal, age 21, address, and now you can take that list further and can add or append or subtract anything by yourself. Now on that front, I'll show you one more use of a zip. So suppose you have something called for I comma j. I comma j can be your name, doesn't matter, and you have a two list. So you have a two list. Let me take that same list a comma b, and you wanted to compare them side by side. You can do something like zip then I comma j. You will see that it's comparing one by one. Now let me change and let me add one more key in a but not in b. Suppose abc. Let's see what happens. You would see that it has ignored ABC because it doesn't find the same indexed B element. It didn't throw the error. Now let me do the opposite. Rather than adding it here, let me add it here and let me execute it. Again, it ignored in the case of a dictionary. Let me see here. Again, it ignored. So what it's doing is it has made a zero index for AB, one index, two index, third index. When it came and it saw that there is another index fourth, which is in the case of a b but not in the case of a, it would totally ignore it. So zip is very handy if you wanted to compare two lists, you wanted to show them side by side, you wanted to perform operation, you wanted to make a zip file or a dictionary. Zip is your handy tool. Okay, I'll take a pause because I believe I'm going a little fast. Any doubt guys so far in these tricks? Just you have 15 seconds for any chat. Any doubts? Srijis, I have shared the notebook. You need to contact to Let's Upgrade folks. They would be able to help you on that front. Okay, I believe there is no doubt. Let's go to the next trick. The next trick is, I have told you day for yesterday, you have something called an array, which is unsorted array. You wanted to convert into a sorted array, but you don't want to change the original one. You can use something called sorted function, name of the array, and save it in some another variable. So if you execute it, you see that sorted array is a properly sorted, and if you will go to the original, you would see that it's the same. So it didn't change the original one. So sorted function also come in handy if you wanted to change something but you don't want it to disturb your original data. Hope that makes sense. Now next trick is kind of little interesting. If you wanted to open a website using a Python, you can use a something called web browser. It's already a built-in. So web browser is also kind of an API. It's a library built in Python. You just need to import it. You import like this. If anybody who has enrolled in my earlier a PG program, he or she would have known that I have emphasized more on import, and we have made many projects where we have made the entire APIs import. So if you enroll for web RPGP courses, you will get a chance to learn how to make your own library. Just like there's a web browser library, we can make our own library which can do something. So that's the future tense. Here we have something called import web browser, and then I'm going to tell that web browser dot open in new tab. You can show that open in the same tab. See that you have three options: open new tab, open same. So if I do open, it will open in the same. But I want a new tab. You type https google.com. If I execute this, now observe the behavior go. It go into the new tab, folks, and it just find out that google.com. Now let me type the Twitter. Let me type Twitter. Let me copy this so that you understand that how it's able to do it. Now let me paste it here. Okay, let me. Now it has opened a new Twitter. That's my Twitter. So you can open any web browser, any web page, blah blah thing using this web browser tab. Okay. Now next trick is, guys, if you remember, can anybody tell me what I have told? What is the real, very basic difference between list and tuple? We have discussed already. Can anybody type it in chat? What is the difference between list and tuple? Quickly, guys. We got 15 seconds. Nobody knows. Kind of strange. Little strange. Okay, okay. We have, oh, perfect, perfect. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Tuple, it's immutable. You cannot change it. Let's just change it. But we can play with its behavior. Here I'm going to show you how to play it. Here I have made a tuple called tuple 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I've converted that tuple into list. Very simple. Then I have, after making it as a list, it has become a mutable. I have appended the element. And after appending the element, I have again converted explicitly it into a tuple. So if I go to tuple 2, this is tuple 2, which is having a original element, added element. And if I take a tuple 1, it is original element. So if you wanted to do a manipulation with tuple, but you want your return of value to also be in a tuple, you can use this trick, manipulating tuple. And no worries, guys, this notebook you are going to get it, so you can practice these things. Now next thing is, you don't need to run it. That's why I have commented it, because if I do, it will create a havoc. There is something called OS library, which I'm going to take some of the example. But just remember that OS is a very good library if you want to play with your operating system, your directories, your files, your folders, your images, your video, audio, anything. So I'm going to explain about OS library, but for this particular thing, if you import OS library and you do os.system and this command as it is, shutdown -s, it will quickly shut down your computer. Same thing, if you type restart -s, it will restart your computer. Isn't that great? This entire power is there in Python. So now I can think that if you make a program and give it to your friend and just tell that friend, okay, bro, why don't you run it? He or she will run it and his computer would shut down. So you can play those little tricks on any friend, but be careful. Just try in your laptop first, because it shouldn't happen that he or she didn't save a file and it has deleted because it got shut down. So take care about that. Now, next trick is something about random. If you do remember that our host was choosing a winner every day, so they were choosing how they were using something called random library. They had all your name and number, name and mobile email ID, and they just ran the random function. It choose one of the names. So every time you run it, it will choose some random number, or name or number. So I'm going to show you that how does it work. So we have something called import random, again inbuilt library. You can read about it. That's totally all right. Some random number to choose. I'm going to make a list like this, and I'm going to do a random dot choice A. Let me import this first, because I didn't import it. That's why we got this error. So whenever you have this error, random is not defined or a library name, do remember that it means that library hasn't been imported successfully. So just import it again. Now run it. You would see we got the 6 from this list. Again 9, 88. So every time we are getting some random number. 6 got repeated because the size of the list was quite small. So you can get all the random number whenever. So suppose your game is, which is our project, that you have something called quiz, dice game. You wanted to take dice from 1 to 6. Same thing. Let me take this example. If you are playing a Ludo, I believe everybody know about the Ludo. You can choose something like random dot choice where you wanted to make some choice to come out of the Ludo. That's a random. Okay, I'll take. Do you have any further doubt, guys? Okay, somebody has a doubt how to install a Jupyter, Nitish. I'll tell you what, Nitish. Go to. I'll show you right away. Go here, install, or you can go to Anaconda Python, and you go here and individual edition. You just go here and download it. It will automatically download, and you can double click on it, and it would open something like what you see here. That totally makes sense. Okay, any further doubt? Okay, okay, no doubt, no problem. So now we'll go to a next thing, which is called list comprehension. Of one of the most important thing in Python, which makes Python a very lovely language throughout the community. So there is something called list comprehension. What does it mean? I'll show you before diving it into this. So suppose I have a task to achieve. My task is find even number. I'm going to achieve this task using a two thing. First, for loop. For I in, suppose I have a space like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I'm going to say that for I in blah blah list, if I percent 2 is equal to 0, print I. That makes sense. You got all the even number. The same task I can achieve using a function also. Define even number, and I'm going to this number particular function will take a list as an argument. For I in A can be your name of the list. You can decide how you wanted to name it. That's totally up to you. If I percent 2 is equal to 0, same thing, print I, and I'm going to execute this function using the same list 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. You get the same result. You agree that here we have used 3 line, here we have used something called 4 plus 5 line we have executed, but the entire thing can be done in list comprehension. How to do that? You need to make a list structure like this. Now I'm going to loop it. I'm going to say that I for I in the list. Our list was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and this I can be your choice. It can be A also. That's totally fine. A for A in anything. And now the next line of loop is which is checking the condition. I can check here. If A percent 2 is equal to 0, just execute it. You will get the same result but elegantly placed in a single line. Hope okay. So hope that makes sense to you. Now I'll take a next example here. What I could have done rather than I could have said that okay, F even, and I'm going to make a next F type string, and here we get the even. Same thing. Let me copy it from here, and let me paste it here. Let me just indent it properly. So I'm going to do it. Same thing you want to do here also. So same thing. Let me delete and do it one again. You are going to copy the same thing. A for A can be anything, guys. So you don't need to worry about the variable name. Same thing. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and I'm going to first check A percent 2 is equal to 0, and rather than typing here which we have done, I could have said that okay, F string, and I'm going to say that even A. It would print elegantly what we got here in a single line. Now let me show you some more thing. Now let me copy this thing, find even number. Let me copy this here and let me paste it here. Find even and odd both. You want even and odd both. So if you this is even, else print F. Just focus, guys, please focus. You will get a lot of knowledge from this. Odd I. So you see that odd one, even two, blah 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 things. Now I'm going to do same thing with function. I believe everybody now must have got how to write a function to find even and odd, but let me show you one more time. I type it here, and even number, odd number. Let me just change the name of the function, and this, else I'm going to print f string odd I, and I'm going to change the name of the function because I have changed it here. Now let him execute. You see the odd one, even one, blah 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 thing. So this time it took 5 line, here 7 line. The entire if and else you can do in a single line, guys. That what makes list comprehension very powerful. So I have written that odd I if I percent 2 is not equal to 0, basically means which leaves the remainder. If it is, it doesn't leave the remainder, it's an odd number, else it's a even number for I in list. So if I execute this, you would get the same result in a single line, folks. Isn't that excited? Let me know in comment what you think about this list comprehension power. Okay, so you might need to play with list comprehension a lot, but I will tell you what, in my career itself, when I was in a data science part team around 2 years back, I was in a earlier stage startup, so where I used to convert most of the function in a list comprehension. So my fellow who was not good in Python, he used to get confused. So he himself has told that teach me list comprehension first, because this used to make my life very easy. The concept is clear, single line, everything can be done, and the list comprehension can be imported in a further libraries also. Sure. So I believe that most of the people are finding it amazing, and some people are appreciating also. That's very good to know, and that's what make Let's Grade a good community. Let's upgrade so that we everybody collaborate and learn from each other. Even I'm gonna make some mistakes. You need to teach me, I teach you the same. Yeah, that works fine. So yeah, now let me go back to the next thing, which is more excited than list comprehension. That is something called a date time library. This is a very important library. Let me make some space for writing that date time library. Let me check a time also. We are running out of time, so let me go a little fast. Yeah, Durga. I would not say ternary operator, Durga. Ternary operator is something else, where you compare things like, but this is something else, but it's not a ternary. Ternary, we will try to cover it at the end of the lecture. I'll make sure. So here we are. I'm going to import a library called date time. It's already built in. You never need to install it. Now I wanted to find out the today's date time. So what you can do is date time dot date. First date I want. No, not first date. We want date time. Then I'm going to show you date time dot now. You would see that we have a date time dot. We have a 2021 11th month 19th day, 20 hours, which is a 24 hours clock. That's a 8 o'clock 25 minutes 50 second, and blah blah millisecond. Now I wanted to extract only year. I can do that. I wanted to extract only month. I can do that. I wanted to extract only day. I can do that. I want to extract only hour. I can do that. Totally fine. Now I want to extract only date. So I can do something like date time dot date. So we have only date. Now let me play something further with this. Now I wanted, okay. We have something called date time dot date time dot now date. That's called date. Let me save it in a variable called date. And let me take another line, and I'm going to write date time just to show you something. Date time dot now. Now let me type a date. So this is a date. Now you can do a dot operator and you can find out a day. So this is 19 day. Same thing is with date time. You can take it in a variable and you can convert into a string. So just to not looks like this. So you would see a very good example this. So it shows that entire string has converted date time into a human readable form. Same thing is with date also. Okay, now you want to subtract two date. So how you are going to do is, I'm going to write date 1 is equal to date time dot date. I'm going to write 2021 11 and 12. Let's take example. Okay, date time dot date we want 2020 example 11 9. It says that 1 second. I think I've imported it wrongly. So date time dot our date, and what does it do is, let me execute it. return date of the same year. So let me execute it and let me see that what error result we get so that we can extract it. So we have today's date. Now I want to provide some other date. So let me try and do it. So it doesn't allow. So if you have a today's date, which is a date one, now we have a something called date two, which is date time dot date time dot now dot date. It might be a little daunting for you folks, but just bear with me because date time is a very good library to explore. One second. I believe I have taken it as a wrong. Okay, we have now date time dot date. So we have a date one, which is this date, and we have a date two, which is also this date. So if you try, if you can subtract things, although this will result into zero because our both date is zero. So we see that date time dot time delta. I return that there is no difference between it. So you can find out, and in our further classifier time, we'll try to find out what is the difference between week one, week two, how you can subtract date time dot date. You can how you can subtract 1 hour from a particular time. So you can use it entire using a time delta, which if I get a time, I'll explore it further. Okay, I'll stop it here. I'll take pause for 15 seconds. Let me take some more doubt, then I'll go to the next excited topic. Okay, any doubt, guys? Any further doubt, folks? No doubt? Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm going to come to generator. Yes, I will be coming to generator. Okay, how you can find all libraries? See, I'll tell you one thing. There is something called here. You go to Google and type tip, and you see a pypy.org. Guys, bear with me for a second. Okay, so we have something called pypi.org. Here you will see all the libraries installed in Python, but I won't recommend folks you to check out because it might daunt you, confuse you. But you always can search for a project here. Suppose you have something called OS. You search for OS library, you will see that OS. But OS is already built in. You wanted to search for calendar library. Calendar, we have a calendar library. So now you want to search for pandas, very powerful library for data science. You can search panda, numpy. So here you can search all your library, which is I believe more than uh, uh, 7 lakhs or 9 lakh. That's why Python is very popular, because the co-working system has made it in such a way that millions of people are contributing with each other. Sure. So let me, okay, let me show you something. Let me show you something, guys. Not with the date time. Date time, I wanted to abstract to that, but let me, okay, let me go to the other stuff after once we're done. We'll try to explore some more date time. Sure. Now I'm going to come to a lambda function. Lambda function are called in handy function, which are a smaller function but single line function. Now let me tell you how does lambda function work. Suppose I have a function here whose name is x, and what basically x does is it takes some argument. Suppose it takes a, and just return that is a is greater than 5 or not. So if I try to run with 8, it would return true. If I say 5, it would return false. You agree with that? Same entire thing you can do with something called name of our function is x, I would write, and variable name is a. You can name it the way you want. That totally makes sense. So you can write something called x is equal to lambda a, and a is greater than 5. This after putting a lambda keyword, and you're going to provide that what it should return. It should return a value of a whose result has come if it is greater than 5. So if you will type that, just come here and see that 7 is greater than 5, always return a boolean value. If you say 5 is greater than 4, it would return a boolean value. But if I say that 5 is greater than 3, it's a true. But if I say 8, it would return a false. So return value is a boolean value. That is the same case with here also. So I can say that if it's greater than a is greater than 5, result whatever you are getting, just save it in lambda. Now this function, if I come here and execute the same result what I did with function, you would get the same result. 5 is greater than 5. Yeah, no, it's not a greater than, it's greater than equal to. You write 6, you will get a true. You write 2, you will get a false. So the entire function can be done with a lambda. Let me show you some more lambda. Suppose you have a function, define add me example. It takes a 2 argument a and b and just return that a plus b, simple thing. And I'm going to write add me as 9, 8. It's going to return 17. Same thing you can do with lambda. Lambda a or b, sorry, not over. Lambda a and b is going to do, and it's just going to add it. So I'm going to write a plus and just add it. Now I'm going to, if I provide the same thing 9 and 8, let's see what result we get. We get 17. Now instead of multiply, I'm going to do this same thing here. You will get the same result. Always the same result. Now, if you have a 3 number to do it, now you folks must have understood what I'm going to do next. If you have a 3 number A, B, C, and you are going to return A plus B plus C, you can do the same thing here also. A plus B plus C, 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6. So lambda function is very powerful if you wanted to write a smaller function and wanted to run it 1,000 times. So in that case, lambda works. And lambda is a very, very important concept as far as learning curve of any beginner Python or even any good programmer is concerned. So any doubt for guys in the lambda function? Any further doubt, guys? We in a Python, we don't need to write that particular string or integer should be specifically int or str. Once you declare it, that's why it's a runtime language, not a compile time. So automatically it will understand. Is lambda single line of code? Yes, lambda is a single line of code. It doesn't do a very complicated stuff what you could have done with function. But if you have a smaller function, you can convert it. In lambda, I won't recommend using a loop. That's because it's a single line. We did with the list comprehension, because in list comprehension you can use a if list, but you don't. For a starter, I shouldn't recommend. Although you can use it, I can show you if you want how to insert something into the list. You can use something called list.append. Okay, we have a question that how to install library. You can install any library with something called pip. Let me not install it, but pip install. And in not here, you won't understand here. Let me show you in the terminal itself. Let me open a new tab. Then you can use something called, suppose I have a Python 3.9 pip install, and let me put you would see that Python -m pip, everything works. So it would show that, okay, Python -m pip, I can install anything. Sometimes if you have a single version, you can directly use a pip. In my case also that's possible. So with the help of pip, you are able to install it. Okay, I believe that I have said that if you wanted to insert something into the list, you have a two thing. You have something called dot append, then you have something called dot insert, which basically decides which place you wanted to insert. Sure guys, now time has come what everybody was waiting for, our winner to be announced and for me to give some information. So yeah, let's take a small pause break and let's over to our beloved host Akansha. Akansha, over to you.
Sorry sir, it is not Akansha, it is Rohan this time.
Sure, no problem, Rohan. Rohan, yes. Over to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Rohan and today I'll be announcing a winner who will be getting an Amazon gift voucher. And before announcing, let's do one thing. Let's see a video and after that we'll see who will win. Alright, so Akansha, can we play the video now?
Hey, hi guys, this is Sai Kiran from LetsUpgrade and I'm here today to congratulate you all guys for completing or for pursuing our Essentials program in various fields what we do. And I want to tell that yes, this is amazing program what you're doing. But if you want to continue this learning and want to take your career to next level with a one-on-one personal mentorship, what we are not providing in Essentials, and also build real-time projects, then join our 6 months PGP full stack program in data science or AI/ML or web development in MERN stack or Python Django. That's it. Bye bye.
All right then. So before moving ahead, would you like to pitch?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me this time.
Yes.
So, folks, I believe there are older crowd as well as some newer ones. So, before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Kamal Seth, and I work for JP Morgan Chase, which is the biggest investment bank in the world. And I do have around 9 to 10 years of programming experience, mostly in Python since Python 2.6, I would say. And before that, I was with the world's biggest broker company, which is Willis. So I'm teaching with Let's Upgrade for more than roughly 2.5 years. So with this course, I wanted to announce that we are announcing something called PGP courses, which start from 29th of November 2021. So these courses will have a duration of 6 months, and there, as Sai has correctly said, that you would have a one-on-one mentorship. You would have need to complete more than a 10 or maybe a dozen projects, and we can go with the depth of each and every library which we want, or as well as depth of a particular concept also. And we have a four amazing PGP. The first PGP is of a mean stack or a full stack, you can say, where we are going to choose our favorite or any of the front end framework like a React or React Native. Backend would be in Python, and your choice of database, maybe Mongo or maybe PostgreSQL. Then we have a PGP of AI and machine learning, included deep learning, which is the number one hot topic of the entire world. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, everybody's talking about AI. So this is what will give you a entry point to enter. And third thing is data science, all about the data. We are going to build a lot of face recognition, finding the tactics in a particular, finding out the sentiment analysis, NLP, NLTK, all things. And the fourth one is the most excited, which is Django using Python. What Sai has also said, we are going to use the most excited framework of Python, which is a Django. 50,000 plus stars on GitHub. Do check out right now. And the backend using Python, front end using some HTML, some CSS, some JavaScript, some database. So these four PGP are very good if you wanted to start your career in IT, or if you are already started the career but you wanted to jump in, you wanted to upgrade yourself, then do consider the PGP courses if you wanted to do something with your career. So yeah, that's what I would recommend you folks. And if you really like my teaching, then you would be glad to know that I would be teaching that PGP course. So if you are like learning, do subscribe for that. Sure. Thank you, guys.
All
Go
right
on.
then. So right now I'll be announcing the winner, and before that I'll of course share my screen because I want to be transparent with you guys that the announcement is based upon your attendance, and also we are using a randomizer so that there is no bias over here. All right then. Sir, I hope my screen is visible now.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's visible now.
All
You can
right,
see
great.
it.
So right now I'll just print out the attendance list, and then okay, it's taking some time. All right. So let's see who's today's winner. All right. Huh.
Priyadarshini Jena.
Priyadarshini Jena, are you there? If you are there, then let us know. And please,
Quickly.
guys, if you are coming here and changing your name and claiming that you are the winner, anyhow, you won't be winning because we want the email address, phone number, and all. So we'll be verifying it. So please don't take anybody's opportunity over here.
Yeah, Priyadarshini is
Priyadarshini
there. Yeah,
Jena.
yeah. She's there.
Hmm.
It's not she, it's a he.
Yeah, the DP seems a bit fishy right now.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
But yeah, our name can be
yeah, of
confusing,
course
so
we.
that's all right.
Hey, sir, but have you noticed one thing? The Priyadarshini over here has a double E in it. In this, and
We
over
caught
there it
it.
is I. Sorry,
Uh,
buddy, you change
we
your name
caught
in a different way. So never mind. We'll be
choosing another one.
another one.
Guys,
Good
as
try.
long as soon as you will land to the winner, we can start the class. So it's up to you. Let's go to the next winner, please. Narendra
Narendra
Kumar, you
Kumar.
there? Narendra, you there? Quickly, please. Narendra, you there?
Narendra, are you there? It's your lucky day, might be. Vishu, wait a second, na. What if he responds?
Narendra, you there? Otherwise, we'll change this name in next 10 seconds. Please,
Yeah.
guys, do attentive. We can wrap things.
Priyadarshini would
Otherwise,
have won if he would have changed his name properly. So,
let's go to the next one, please.
yeah.
Running out. Charan, you there?
Sharan.
Charan, quick, folk, quick, guys, quick.
Yeah,
Now,
whenever there is a single name, it is a bit more fishy because we don't have the surname as well to see.
Charan is there.
Charan.
Yeah.
Charan is there. All right.
Yeah,
Charan B. Yes, I can claim he is the right person, I believe, because the email address as well
email
shows the
ID,
B in
yes.
it. So good luck, buddy. The thing you have to do is you have to DM us on Instagram, which is our Let's Upgrade ID. I guess you can see it in chat or in description. Then you have to give your full name, your email address, and your phone number so that we can claim you the reward. And you have to post it on your story so that other people gets to know, and next time even they will join us. All right. So that's it from my side. So you can continue now, and thank you for your time.
Sure.
All right,
Thank you,
guys.
Rohan, for
Bye.
this winner.
Yes, sir.
And folks, before starting the class, I forgot to tell you about our PGP courses price. So for each courses, we are taking a penny of what our competitor, we don't want to name it, are offering. So our courses are of a 29,600 for each. But if you subscribe for one, you can get the curriculum of all four. And not only that, if you use my code, my name is KAMAL capital, you can get an instant 4,000 rupees a discount and some more discount if you have a referral also. So I can assure you that the price what we are offering cannot be matched by any of our competitor of the same page. So do think about it and do enroll it if you really wanted to start your career in IT or you wanted to advance it. So yeah, now let's get over to our teaching so that you learn more about that and think about subscribing. So let's get back to business here. Yeah, so my code is also printed on the chat, so do use that if you feel you wanted to upgrade your career. And all the best to everybody for your career. Okay, now let's get back to business. So where we have tried doing some lambda function, and we have come to that you can take a parameter with lambda. And someone has said that can we do if and else with lambda? I said that that's possible, but I won't recommend it because lambda or single kind of thing little confuse somebody. So try to practice as much as functions first. Once you are done with function, then come to a list comprehension. In list comprehension, we have done if else loop also. And once list comprehension, then do jump on the lambda thing, and then you can further jot down things. So now next thing is generator. What is generator? I'll tell you what. It's very important as far as your memory management is concerned. Suppose you have a list of 1 million item, folks, 1 million item list. If you make that list, you will load the entire 1 million items memory in the RAM, random access memory. So RAM is limited, folks. You remember that RAM is limited. So everything will get loaded up in the RAM. So it might makes your program slow. So if you're running 1 million and you're trying to search again and again, then it's again and again going to pile up, stack up your RAM. So you don't want everything to be loaded in the one time, but you want all 1 million item to be present. It should be present in the program, but not entirely present in the memory. Here comes the role of generator. So let me show you something. That suppose I have something like range of 1000, and I say that s is equal to range of 1000. You get that? So if I try to print s, you will see that if I try to place list of s and I'm going to print a starting 10 element, you would see that entire 10 element came in the memory. So that's what I don't wanted. I don't want the entire thing to become in the memory. So here let me show you. Maybe you got a little confused that we were able to see only the range. So I'm going to just print only 10 items. So you would see that 0 to 10. So 10 came in the memory. So what if it's a 1 million? The entire 1 million might come in the memory. So you want the entire thing to be in a program but not in the memory. So here comes the role of a generator. So how generator basically works? It tells you that the entire thing is in the memory, but it's not really in the memory. It just asks you that, okay, you want one number out of 1 million. Let me extract that one number only, and let me not touch 99 9,99,999. So I'm not going to touch, I'm going to just show you the single number only. So you are going to use only a memory of a single number, which is a 4-bit, you rather than the entire 1 million item. So how you are going to use generator, it can be little confusing, but no worries, just spend a year with me, you will understand. For creating a single generator, we will declare our function as it is, but rather than writing, we are going to use a keyword called yield. Yield is like a print statement, but print load everything in the memory entirely at a time, and yield one at a time. Let me just execute it rather than talking. This function is done. Now let me make an instance of this function. You can make an instance of a class of function like this. We have done that earlier. Now let me just delete this first, Command X, and let me execute it. Now I'm going to just type X just to see that what is it. X, you see that that's a generator object. And if I try to type of generator is very powerful, guys, so please be focused. X is all generator. Now I wanted to find out what's there in generator, and I can use something called x.next. So I'm going to execute it again. Maybe something is there. Okay, that's a Python 3. So no, okay, hold on, guys. We have something called nextx because that was Python 2 syntax. So I have done nextx. This has written first statement. Let me do it again. 2. Let me do it again. 3. If I do it again, can anybody wild guess what would be the result? Quickly, guys. Wild guess. If I executed one more time, what it would return? Quick, quick, quick. I want you folks to be quick as possible. 4. Very good. Anybody else? Very good. 4 is the answer. Very good, folks. Munna bhaiya, see that. What the hell, guys? There is no 4. How is going to return 4? It's not never going to return 4. If I execute it again, it would show the error because it has iterated everything. Now it has came to an end. So there is nothing. So it would say that I'm done. You can't do it again. If I execute this again from a start, now if I do it again, 1, if I'm going to execute this again, going to make an instance again. Now if you execute 1, 2, 3, then error. So that's what the generator is. It's going to, no, it's not going to return Swami 1 again. You need to, once the generator will finish its iteration, you need to compile the entire function again. That's the beauty of generator. It may remember where your iteration ends so that it doesn't read infinitely. I'll show you some nicer example of generator. So let me just make one more thing. You remember that, folks, that we have talked about list comprehension, I for I in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You remember that? So this I for I in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will say, or you say just a list of 1, 2, 3, 5, basically same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entirely has, if I print this, you see that if I print A is equal to this, and I'm going to print A. 1 second, I'm going to print A. You would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Entire list has been printed in the console. Means entire thing has been loaded in our beloved RAM. But you don't want that to happen. Now you want it to load one memory at a time. So you are going to use something like this. You are, rather than making a square bracket, you are going to make a curly braces and I for I in same list comprehension, just like we did, but rather than square bracket, curly bracket here and name of a list. If I execute it and try to find out, that's a generator. Now if I do next S1, next 2, next 3, next 4, next 5, next error, it would say that iteration has been done. So this is a very fundamental use of generator. No sub case, there would be no 6 because there was no 6 in the list. So if you run it after a 5, it would come back again and show that there is an error. You need to put the entire generator again and run it again. So that's the beauty of generator. It doesn't load everything into the memory. It loaded only a one item at a time. So you might save a lot of RAM using a generator. And let me tell you one thing straightforward. A lot of people, I would say most of the people in real-time programming, which deal with the stock exchange data, which deal with banking, finance data, they deal with generator a whole lot. Can it repeat instead of us showing error? What you can do is you can use something called try catch statement. That's called catching error exception. So there you can say that, but we don't want it to stop the error because we know that what is the last element. Okay, now we have something called, I have spoke about that, we have something called OS library. So OS library basically deals with your operating system. So OS library, what are the very fundamental use of yield is the only generator. See, if you specify yield, it's like I have provided in a function, it will understand that this is generator. But if you don't want to specify yield, you can use something called a curly bracket like this. Remember that. So from this, it will understand that you are trying to make a generator. Yield keyword is basically, it's like a print, but it doesn't print everything. It print whenever you type a next. That's the difference between yield and print. Any more doubt, guys? I believe a lot of people are enjoying generator. Any further doubt, guys? Okay, for the exam date, maybe that's a Monday. I'm going to give you a quiz. I'm going to explain you what should be the quiz and you need to write about it. Okay, any another generator? Akshida says, Akshida, our time doesn't permit. That's why, otherwise I could have explained. That's why here the role of a PGP courses comes. I want to take at least 15-20 examples, but our time is little less. So if you consider that you really wanted to go further with programming languages, do think about it. Do subscribe to our PGP courses. Not only for you, but everybody whomsoever wanted to be serious about the programming languages. If you think it's a worth, do subscribe. Sure. Okay, now let me come to the next thing, which I said that os.make directory. So what is the use of OS? OS library is for making a folder, deleting a folder, renaming a folder, iterating inside a folder, finding a file, renaming a file, finding a video, renaming a video, iterating in a video, changing your current directory, printing your working directory, changing your system path. There are thousands and thousands of uses of OS library. Okay, now let me make the first use of our OS library. So I'm going to use something called os.make directory. Is going to make a directory. So let me see where it make. It's going to make, suppose, Kamal123. Let me execute it. Let me go back to my desktop. You would see Kamal123. You see that it's a Kamal123. Let me just show you that I really, I mean, it's not a fishy. So let me make again. Let me name something. Let's upgrade. You can make a folder like this. Let's upgrade, and let me execute it. And let me come back here. You would see a let's upgrade folder has been made. So you can make a folder. You can make a folder inside a folder also. That's called nested folder. So with this, you can make a make directory. Now, next is important thing is that whenever we are dealing with any programming languages or any folder, we do know that we have something called get current working directory. So where we are working. So how to get a current working directory? os.get cwd, get current working directory. It says that it's a user Kamal said. Now I wanted to change it. Now let me change it here from here itself. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to change it to desktop rather than users. Now you see that my current working directory got changed to desktop. User Kamal set is always prefix desktop. So if now I wanted to find out all the folders in my desktop, so I'm going to desktop folder, and I'm going to iterate through it, and I'm going to find out all the folders inside desktop. Now let me copy this till desktop path I already have, Command C, and let me paste it, and let me see what happens. And for each folder in desktop folder, you would be amazed to know that it would return all the folder, all my folder, guys, all the folder. You can rename the folder. Let me show you. Os dot, there is something called remove rename, and it takes a 2 parameter source and destination. Suppose remember that we had something called let's upgrade. Let me copy its name. Command C, I have copied it. Let me make it as let's upgrade 123. And let me just copy because we need to give a full path, not only the name of the folder. So I have provided the full path. Now I want to copy this and wanted to make as let's upgrade 123. Let me execute it. It has executed successfully. Let me come back here and let's upgrade 123 has been changed. It was let's upgrade, now it has become let's upgrade 123. Hope that makes sense. Okay, okay, we have some more doubt, guys. Okay, a lot of doubts are about our quiz, so I'm going to talk about the quiz now, guys, quickly. Then we have explored about, okay, now I think we have talked about a random number. Now I'm going to now, first of all, before discussing our project, guys, we have spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, more than 5.5 hours on the entire learning. And I'd like to thank Sai for introducing this program, Python 0 to 0. So I wanted to know how much you folks have enjoyed, and were you able to grasp it, and were you able to think about the professional usage which you can make out of these courses, and are you able to enjoy these things? Let me know in a chat anything. What do you think about it? Your any word would be nice. I believe people are quite attentive because we have spent more than 5.5 hours, so that's a big thing. Yeah, there are some good words. Thanks everybody, and I hope that this helps. And we are going to okay, now I'm going to discuss about a project while you folks listen. I want everybody, and googling is allowed, you can google it, that's all right. Little bit google is totally all right. I'm going to ask you a project which will use your for loop, if loop, some random library, list comprehension if you want. Otherwise, you can use a function also. If you want to wrap inside a class, you can do that, totally up to you. Now, I want you to make something called guessing the word example. So I want you guys to do is something, write some words, some like 10-20 words, and you are going to ask a user two things. The first thing, username, and second thing is that let user guess a particular word. If that particular word exists in your set of word, which can be an external file, which can be a JSON, which can be a list also, if the particular word matches inside your list of word, return that yes, your word is inside our guess word, you are correct. Otherwise your word is not there, try next. So it's going to try next. Next come, still wrong, try next. If next is correct, you have guessed correctly, and the program will execute and it will quit it. So this program you need to make it, and I believe the deadline is on Monday. If you complete successfully, you do try your level best, then you would get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. So you want me to explain the quiz again, guys? Or you have understood what we need to do? Assignment, see, I'll tell you what, guys, all the files you would get it from Let's Upgrade, so no worries. There might be a little delay, but you would get all the files. What I'm doing with you, all the IPython notebooks. So our quiz is word guessing game. Very simple. It's going to use a for, if loop, random library, functions, list comprehensions, some variables, and you can wrap it in a function or you can wrap it in a class. Okay, somebody has, okay, folks are telling explain again. Okay, I want you guys to make a simple program which asks user a input, two input. The first input is a name, second input is guessing a word. If a particular word a user has guessed is in your file, that file can be a JSON file or your external CSV file. If that particular word exists in a file, just type that yes, you have guess the correct word which is in our set of library, thank you, and your program will quit. Otherwise, if we didn't guess the word properly, you will prompt it to ask or guess again. So prompt it to guess again he has guessed, that particular word is not there in the file, again guess it. Unless and until he or she doesn't guess properly, program will keep on asking for user input. Now got it? Hope now it's clear. So very best, and I'll tell you what, you can make some fundamental changes from your side also. You might say that I don't want to save external file, I wanted to write in a dictionary on it. That's all right. Some small experiment from your side is all right. As I said, that you can wrap the entire thing in a function if you want, or you can wrap the entire thing in a class also if you wanted to learn further. But you have a weekend as well as Monday. Monday would be the last to do try your level best. And I believe that whatever I taught, that project would be enough to get executed. I believe that it needs to be uploaded to GitHub, but do speak to Let's Upgrade folks. They would be the right person to explain that where it needs to be get uploaded. But I want everybody to try their natural effort. Try their effort. I don't want it to be, doesn't matter that it's how much correct or wrong, because this effort might make use for you to become a better programmer. And as I said that in our PGP, we are going to complete us not only this small project, but maybe a dozen big projects, a Flask APIs, CRUD API, REST APIs, then API which asks for things and upload here and there. So those kind of things we would be very excited to do in our PGP courses. So yeah, this is all about our Python 0 to Hero, and today is Friday. I so glad for having such a great and intelligent audience, and I'd like to thank our Let's Upgrade host also, and let's meet next time. Thank you guys, thank you, and have a wonderful day, have a wonderful weekend. Do take care of your family and do take care of yourself. Thank you Rohan as well.